So I have a feeling this is going to be one of those videos that we look back on years from now, because inevitably this AI is going to change a lot. So this video is being sponsored by Paradox to take a look at the brand new Europa Universalis 5. And if you know anything about how I do Paradox videos here on YouTube, well, we're back to our old ways again. I do not play this game. We are here in observer mode. And yes, there is in fact a DruuuWu mode. I'm so glad that Paradox embraced DruuuWu mode in basically all their games now. I feel greatly responsible for that, for better or for worse. A lot of the hardcore strategy game players probably look at that button and they're like, I spit at it. Now, I'm on record for saying my favorite Paradox game ever to observe in is EU4. So of course, I've been extremely excited about EU5. We're starting off on a new start date that is 1337 up here, and we are taking this game way beyond its end date. I think the game is supposed to end in 1836. I actually ran this simulation almost a full 1,000 years from this start date here. By the way, if you're interested in some EU5 country balls, I do have an EU5 country ball theme drop here with Byzantium, Venice, and the Ottomans, all major countries in the Europa Universalis 4 or 5 universe. I guess we'll really see. They were definitely big countries in EU4. EU5, there's something you should definitely note. You're gonna see here soon enough. But yes, there's a link down below to makeshift.com if you'd like to buy these country balls before they're gone forever. There's only a couple of weeks left, which, speaking of that, I'm also hosting my very first travel trip with you guys. You can join me. I'll be going to China for the first time ever. Well, to Beijing for the first time ever. It's gonna be an 8-day trip, 7 nights. The whole itinerary is down below in the description to travel trip if you're interested in going. All the information is listed down below. It's gonna be a good opportunity to meet like-minded people that like these history subjects, like geography, like whatever sort of simulation things that I be doing all the time. I don't even know. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. For more information, check the link down below. I'm just curious, what would they randomly give me if I clicked random country here? Okay, no, I'm good. I don't think I want to play as the Aztecs right now, but this is a good example of some of the new windows to take a look at in EU5. Love that there's going to be a face to match with the nation that we're looking into. It's time to finally observe this thing in 1337. So there's a couple of major things that are going on here in this world. First of all, the Black Death is going to absolutely ravage Europe. Also, this is just a couple of decades after the fall of the Mongolian Empire, so there's still huge remnants of Genghis's massive nation that he was able to form. Obviously, the huge Golden Horde, Chagatai Horde. Obviously, the Great Yan is a Mongolia-controlled China. Who is this lady? She's literally leading a total of 91 million people right now. That is crazy. I love that it breaks down into all the different ethnic groups and things to look at here. But of course, those dang Mongolians never figured out how to make boats work. Even though they have so much coastline in their nation, they have a total of, well, 6 boats. Speaking of which, Japan better play their cards carefully, and they actually will not, because they're going to be dealing with their own little warlord period here. Oh, look, the cherry blossoms. Oh, that's cool. I almost missed this. This is only, you can only see the cherry blossoms, I think, up until April, May 1st. They should go away, at least in real life, that's how it is. So the big blue blob does not start off quite as big and blue. They are quite, well, they're not even really a blob here anymore, but they are led by King Felipe VI. So in my opinion, at least from an observer perspective, the biggest things that I'm noticing about EU5 is it's an interesting mix between Crusader Kings 3 and Victoria 3. There's definitely a lot of aspects to the way the AI grows in those games that I can compare to this new game, EU5. Again, that's going to change, but this is upon the initial release. This is literally like game 1. Update 1. That's why I said in the very beginning, like, this is going to be a very fascinating video to look back on in the coming years from now. One very exciting thing for me is the numerous map modes we now have access to. I'm not going to use like 90% of these, but I like that I have that option. Hell yeah, I love me some map modes. Speaking of which, I love religion. Religion is one of my favorite things to observe in Europa Universalis. Obviously, the world basically just Europe, I should say, is broken down just between Catholics and Orthodox. And then, of course, we have the Sunni here, and we have the Reconquista to kick out all the Muslims from Spain and Portugal. It's actually a ton of Orthodox still on the Anatolia Peninsula, even. We got Hindus in Hindustan, and then there's just a whole lot. Colonization is going to take place, so all of this is about to change once the Europeans get over to the Americas. And colonization is, no spoilers, but damn, it's something. something else. That's what I'll say. Here's all the many cultures that we can take a look at. Of course, cultures are going to change a ton since we're going 1,000 years into the future, but there is some Turkish inside the Anatolian Peninsula. There's a lot of Greek. We have Naples down here in the south of France, Castilian. The Iberians still trying to figure it out because there's a ton of different little cultures going on here. France is a big old mess. The Germans, yeah, there's a lot. And all of this is about to get exported to the New World, which, oh my goodness, that is way more culture than I expected in America. That is a lot. Pretty nice though. Wow, and it gets really divided obviously once you get to the Aztec land of modern-day Mexico. Now, though there's a lot of culture in the Americas, there's not that many people, as you can imagine. The green is showing us the most populated places on Earth. That is obviously going to be the Indus Valley region or India, and then China, especially the coastlines. 91 million. Yeah, we saw that lady. She's ruling over 91 million people, which is insane. Especially comparatively, I mean, her size, it's so massive, the amount of people she's ruling over. There's 40 million people here, but this is divided up into between several kingdoms, unless that 40 million is supposed to be more centered like this. The Golden Horde looks massive, but it's only about 3.6 million, and a lot of the population is coming out of the Italian peninsula as well as the Gallic region of France. I don't know if we can still call them the Gauls. They're cool now, Drew. They want to go by their new name. Don't dead name them. That's right. We have to also think about the 100 Years' War. So England is being led by Edward III. Again, there are some small attributes from Crusader kings into this game, so we get to see a little bit into his history, his life, his families, the characters he's got going on here. I'm loving the way the Mamluks are stretching all the way through Africa and the Middle East. And finally, we have a nice, thick, old, very informative ledger again. So obviously, when sorting by score, the game is going to the Great Yan. That's definitely the most powerful nation, just in terms of the way this game is scored. Then it is the Sultanate of Delhi, and then it is Yamana clan. Man, I'm about to remember how to pronounce all these new names. There's gonna be there's a lot of things I don't even know how to pronounce anymore. I still have to figure it out. So from what I've seen, the game is run pretty smoothly for the most part. And we actually have a couple events already popping up. Obviously, the rise of the Turks. Well, Japan is about to break down into completely just a splintered, disgusting mess. Oh yeah, what's the Pope looking like at this time? I don't even know. Benedict the 12th. Is he cool? Is that a good guy? There's been a lot of very interesting popes in the past. Oh, I also love the fact that we brought in over court languages, because I do want to see what they're speaking. Right now, the court language in England is French. Isn't that an aspect to why the 100 Years' War started? So yes, they're speaking French in the British... Well, it's the court language. There's a difference there. This is what the higher-ups are speaking. We see it's Scandinavia and the Scandinavian regions. Latin's still in a majority of Hungary. This is going to be fun to look at, even though it doesn't necessarily reflect the language of the people. And then by the end of this game, this is also going to be heavily affected. This is government types. Obviously, everyone is monarchies at this point, and they're going to remain monarchies for quite some time. However, the north of Italy has a ton of republics. These republic government types are only going to expand more than likely, and if the world doesn't get retaken over by a bunch of hordes, I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of hordic governments much sooner. It's crazy that we also have market languages. This is the language of the market region, because of course there's like a lot of trade that has to do with this time. I mean, that's the whole thing of this time period in history. So much trading is going to be going on, and that's what obviously booms the American colonizations here. So this might be a little bit more of a similar situation. Like, this is what you could expect, at least trade-wise, what languages people are going to speak, at least on a family language mode, right? The language families. The Holy Roman Empire is such a mess. Like, just looking at the diplomatic things and all the people that are allied to each other. Well, first of all, Italy's kind of in a messy situation, but there's just so many empires here. It's going to be hard to take a look at all this stuff that's happening. So right now, I'm actually able to view over exactly what all the provinces are building, where obviously all the units and divisions are. The forts, army construction, building construction, naval construction, conquistador construction. So yeah, there's a lot of different little icons going on here as I zoom into each country and stuff. Bro, Golden Horde already in a civil war with rival warlord. The Great Yan is big, but it's still not as big as what they actually de facto control because they've got so many vassal states. Yeah, look at all these subjects they have in their empire. I'm not even able to go over it all. They just control so much of the world right now, but that is inevitably going to collapse because that's what China does. They explode. Here's the other big situation notification at the very top, the 100 Years' War. That is, I guess, about to start brewing. So we've simulated about the first 8 years of the game. This is what kind of things are going down. Right now, not too much because it's only been 8 years, but keep in mind the age, these different ages and how we advance through the game. There's different modifications and bonuses and even debuffs that are going to occur in the different ages. For example, levy maintenance, navy levy size. Obviously, you're going to see more of your colonial empires wanting to revolt. So you have loyalty in subjects. Once we get to the final age or the age of revolutions, Ottomans. That's going to impact the way the world kind of develops and evolves over time. I already know there's a huge controversy when it comes to the AI because the Ottomans suck. The Ottomans don't do very well here. And I can tell you right now, that same thing's going to happen here too. The Ottomans just don't like to grow. They, something needs to change about that, especially because I made a damn Ottoman ball right there, you know? I mean, I thought they were going to have a little bit more significance in this game. It turns out they die instantly. Wow, you suck, bro. Should have never made your ass. Their neighbor right here, Byzantium, I think fares a little bit better, but they're kind of destined to die as well. Then we got Venice. It's kind of funny. I'm not going to lie, no spoilers, but the three nations I decided to make for EU5, the three country balls, they don't do anything in this campaign. Not jack sh. I mean, that's not really that surprising because technically the biggest nations should be countries like Spain and Wait, are you guys at war? I think they're at war. Well, I almost missed that. Portugal's fighting Spain right now. Look at this. Oh, here we go. Yep. Dang, that's cool. I didn't realize they just have 11 dudes. That guy looks like a freaking Viking warrior trying to, kind of retake these sieges. Man, this is feeling buttery smooth. I really like that. I do have a nice machine though. I will say I got a Raider 18, something like that. I feel like such a boomer saying that because I don't even know what this is. I just saw it. I knew it was going to be good. I bought that. But anyways, this is feeling very buttery smooth, I will say. But you need a really powerful machine because so far the game's been chugging along like a car that's trying to go on my other PC machine at home that's like 5 years old. It still moves, don't get me wrong. I did the whole simulation. We got 1,000 years into the future. Holy crap! On that machine, so it still worked out, but it just didn't feel as buttery smooth as this is. So there's plenty of civil wars. Don't be surprised if we see lots and lots of civil wars, especially out of the nobles. I have been noticing the nobles love to rebel in literally every place on Earth. Everyone's always having nobles rebel. So obviously the Golden Horde survived their warlord attack. Keep an eye on a couple of these early renditions of Russia, especially Novgorod this way. We got the Grand Duchy of Lithuania, which is looking much larger than Poland. I thought that almost said Rara XD. It's Rawa. All right, England, what's going to happen here? You guys going to go after the French, or you going to get beaten by a 14-year-old girl? Joan of Arc, she's definitely a witch. Don't trust her. Oh, here we go, Black Death. All right, so this is going to rip through Europe. That's going to be fun. Oh, wow, Golden Horde is in another with the same dude. I thought he was dead. You guys didn't kill him? Yeah, they are flowing on in. There's little battles happening. Obviously, it's nice flat land, so the Horde can do a lot of damage over here in these open plains. I'm pretty sure we have a plague map mode in here. Weird to look at the great powers mode at this point because we got the Mamluks, we got India, we got China, we got Japan, and then we just got France, and actually a single part of who is that? The Duchy of Upper Bavaria. They are a great power right now. Really? I wasn't expecting that. So the cool thing about the Black Death breakdown is it gives us a whole nother window, and it's going to show us kind of how devastating it is. Right now, it's actually just really devastating the Golden Horde. It hasn't reached Europe just... Oh, it did. It's actually in the lowlands, and it's in Scotland, and barely little northern parts of Iberia. Oh, there's actually already been a total of, geez, over 4 million deaths. This is going to get really bad, isn't it? Okay, it's literally spreading all into France before our eyes, all into the Italian peninsula. It's reached all the way deep into India. It's really going to get a lot of kills in India, unfortunately. Oh, it's spreading more and more in China. It's all throughout northern Africa. So right now, the colors are still green, though. I'm assuming when they get more kills racked up, it's going to get more and more red, possibly. Is that how this map mode's going to work? It's actually already breezed through the Golden Horde. Oh, it's devastating so much of Europe. Now, you can always run to northern Sweden and Norway. They seem to be doing okay over here because everything's frozen. Man, it's even in Iceland. Will it get to the Americas? I don't think so. But Leif Erikson might have something to do with that. Leif Erikson's long dead, Drew. What the hell am I talking about? Revive Leif Erikson. Let him show you the great nation of Newfoundland. It's beginning to leave France for now, but I don't know how much longer. Is it just because it killed everyone in France? Or 64 million deaths? Damn! All right, wait, how much did it actually kill in real life? We have to keep in mind it's only the 14th century, so there's just physically not as many humans as, we have today. There's definitely nowhere near 8 billion. Okay, it's left. It's left. Not too bad. Lots of population is dead, though. I mean, obviously, 72 million. Is there a place that took it? Oh, yeah, right here. Perfect. The places that got hit by it the most is China, is Delhi, is France, so that's unfortunate. Hungary also, specifically. Okay, so obviously now if we bust open with the population figures, we're just going to be looking at a lot less on the map. So yeah, we started off, the Great Yuan started with 91 million, they're now at 73 million. That's crazy. Damn, look at the population drop. Oh, you guys just got obliterated, didn't you? That is messed up. They dropped by 20 million people. That's almost a 20% drop, basically. And it's actually still dropping. It is still going. It definitely seems like it's devastating most of Asia, basically Asia more than it is Europe, although the populations were just way higher over there. Weirdly, does this like weirdly level the playing field for the Europeans? Because they had significantly less people, but a bunch of people just died over there, so is there a little bit of a rebalancing? Was the Black Death just the way God like rebalanced the game? Sounds weird to say, but what is this? What are these arrows? These are people coming into this major population center. Pop migration, I see. So most of the migration is literally just going to be internal at this point. They're actually dropping down to 68 million, so they've lost another 3 million over here in China. That's going to get even worse and worse and worse because China is going to break out into a civil war. It's going to be really sad. Ain't nobody know how to read good up in this. I'm just checking literacy real quick. I mean, China and Japan doing okay when it comes to reading, and then randomly Novgorod can read, but after that, not that good. Lithuanians don't know how to read. In these times, let me just finish it off with that. Don't want anyone to get mad at me. Okay, so the Black Death, I think, is over. We do have the Red Turban Rebellions, which means, yep, y'all are going down. The rise of the Turks, but let me tell you, the Turks will not be rising. I'm sorry to say. The Turks suck. They suck in EU5. Maybe Paradox is saying, boo. Boo Turkey. No, they're not saying that, but I'm sure it'll get fixed. The part of it is the start date, because obviously in EU4, they just started off in a much better position, 1444. It's going to be a lot tougher. I don't really know what kind of advantages you can give to the Ottomans to make sure that they have a likelihood of taking over all of the Anatolia Peninsula and just getting so big since they start off as a literal tribe. Spain really taking it to the north of Portugal now. They don't care about that Reconquista. They're leaving Granada alone. They're just like, no, we control Iberia. What is this fake language known as Portuguese? Naples is now in a civil war because, of course, the nobles. Is it the nobles? It is, in fact, the nobles. Nobles, not surprised. Great Yan is now losing significantly to Northern Yan, especially because, wait, how is this called Northern Yan? Also, this is where all of China really exists. If this is all the Great Yan have, they are going down. There's nobody really here. When you zoom in, you can see how, well, devastating their troops are going to be. This is the time to get your independence. I think Dai Viet got their independence. All these little green places, they're going to need to break away. By the way, really like these little, I mean, there's a lot of little details happening here. I don't even have the time to go over these messages, but I would definitely recommend looking at these messages throughout the video because there might be several very funny little key details that I'm missing in the simulation. Not a whole lot is going to be going on in the Americas, I'm sorry to say, but we will still keep an eye on them slightly, especially obviously when the Europeans start coming over. But same can be said for Australia, New Zealand. I mean, more than likely these areas specifically will get massive expansions in the future. Africa, North America, South America, Australia. That is inevitable. Again, this is a day one game right here. Day one strategy game. What up, Pope? Who you got now here? We got Julie the Third. Julie the Third. Is the hat necessary? He's got access to 6 boats, and he controls a total of 500,000 people, which is actually not too bad, considering it's not the biggest country ever. They do have a little part of southern France, and a little pocket here in Naples. Oh yeah, I forgot to check on the Habsburgs. Where are those chins at? He is a Habsburg. Okay, just making sure. I wasn't sure if the Habsburgs were currently in control at this time. Where's the sis? / wife. Nice, Korea just gained their freedom. Korea is now independent. Oh, he looks real happy about it too. Hell yeah, brother. No more of those evil people controlling the beautiful Korean peninsula. It's time to generate amazing GDP or something like that. Actually, no. Unfortunately, Korea is basically the Poland of Asia. They're always getting pushed around. I don't think this is going to be that great for them. So is the Great Horde just going to watch as Yan goes down? Probably. Actually, that is probably what they're going to do. So this is now called the Duchy of Byzantium. The Duchy of Byzantium has broken away from the Byzantine Empire, is that right? The Ottomans also seem very different too. I don't know really what's going on here with the Ottomans, but she does not have an onion on her head like my country ball is designed. I'm sad about the lack of onions, but at least Constantinople is still called Constantinopolis, I guess, or something like that. That's still there. For now it is, for now. We'll see how long that lasts. I forgot to check the Holy Roman Empire panel. This is what it's looking like. I'm guessing this is the Emperor Ludwig V. The streamer, I had no idea he was such a fan of Twitch, and he became the Holy Roman Empire. Wow. Yeah, so there's a lot of colors going on here. Obviously, the Holy Roman Empire, I think, is looking a little bit bigger than the EU4 start date, extending all the way into northern Italy and getting kind of closer and closer to modern-day France. The 4 Prince Electors is the Palatinate, it's Brandenburg, it is Saxe-Wittenberg, and it is Bohemia. Damn, how many people you got up in this? Oh my goodness. That is way too many. I love that we can select all of the... Oh, man, that's kind of cool. I like that I can figure out everything that's going on here. I could find who I want to. Where's Ulm at? Where is Ulm? That reminds me, I need to make a history video of Ulm. People have been asking me for that for years. I was messed up. I never did that. So Castile took a big bite out of northern and eastern Portugal. That is not a good sign for the Portuguese if they are trying to survive just to be able to get off of Iberia, because they still have over 100 years before they can even begin to think about colonizing. Is there still a Oh, I hate these beards. He's got the jockstrap beard. All right, that's called the chin strap. I don't know what jockstrap. What happened to population there for a second? Why did this spike? Love that I get to break this down. This is so cool. We can find the English in his empire, the Northumbrian, the Picard, the Irish. Damn, England, to be England, you need a little bit more boats than that. I mean, I know it's still early in the world, but 12 boats? You guys haven't figured out your military doctrine just to build as many boats as humanly possible? Is there any new situations? Oh, Western Schism. It's a war between the French nobles and the Italian/Castilian nobles. They're screaming in Latin, I think, in my ears. And France Council vote progress. Someone's screaming. I don't know. Why is this? Who is this? Dang, that just like really stood out. I thought like the Black Plague literally destroyed this part of the map, but no. This is the minor tribe of Beja. Really liking these character designs down here. Obviously, well, the characters are all going to need to look a lot more different than the Europeans, that's for sure. I wonder if we're going to get a crazy DLC where we can turn these guys into like aliens. How is Venice doing, by the way? I actually have not checked too much on them. Are they dead yet? Venice is not, in fact, dead, but they don't look great either. Oh, the Great Yan is still somehow here, although some have definitely broken away. So Kingdom of Chen got their freedom briefly. Were they forced to release that? The Ottomans are just not the cool kids on the block right now. It's actually the Beylik of Eretinids. They are mostly Turkish, though. 64% of their population, in fact, are Turkish. We do have a unified Cyprus. He's looking pretty cool over here. Oh, that's also a pretty epic flag. Byzantium is already dead. Almost dead, sorry. Well, the Byzantium Empire, I believe, is still... I don't even know if they're here, to be honest. It might just be the Duchy of Byzantium, which they still control. They still definitely control Constantinople for now. Obviously, 99% of their country is Greek. It looks like Ferrara is doing pretty good, getting a lot of different little holdings around the Adriatic Sea. And an even bigger bite was just taken out of Portugal. Portugal looks like they're not about to exist very soon. This is Blanca de something. Well, she got 2 days in her name. Is that the literal translations? Well, regardless, she is 37, and she's doing pretty good. She's got some nice diplomatic points, some admin, some military points. Aragon, I think, has been seeing a little bit of pressure being put on them by France as France is beginning to get blobbier. Oh, I think the 100 Years' War is almost over. The English still control a little bit of territory on continental Europe, but not much. Everyone's got to watch that great Swedish Empire, too. I just realized I was kind of in the observer menu for a second. Okay, now we're in the game. Okay, there we go. Yeah, watch Sweden. She's going to make you build an IKEA in your lands, and no one's going to be able to put that furniture together. Obviously, it's 1408, so there's absolutely no colonization in the Americas just yet, or practically anywhere else. In fact, the Spanish haven't even gotten to the Canary Islands just yet, so the Portuguese and the Spanish aren't even... Wait, they actually have got here. They are in these islands. Is these, what was this? The Terceira Islands? I thought the Portuguese were supposed to get that. I like how you can see the sea lanes, like this is where the ships will be crossing through. England is not looking like they want to expand and conquer all of the British Isles anytime just yet. They still, well, they're letting Welsh do their thing. I mean, it's still a little bit early for that, but has there been wars for Scotland? There's literally a war, I think, happening right now. Yeah, Kingdom of... Okay, so there is some battles happening. And look at that. Ooh, okay. This is nice to kind of look at. Oh, look at all that smoke. Nice job, Scotland. Making the English run away with their tail between their legs. Send them back home. It's coming home. Who is this now over here? Just a dude and a person. A dude in a chainmail and some spiky stick. Scotland's really eating it here. Scotland needs to ally with France. Why haven't you allied to France just yet? What's that called again? The AULD alliance? Funny enough, Castile, really not liked by Portugal, Morocco, or Aragon. They literally have no friends. Their most likely friend could be Aragon. They're definitely not completing that Reconquista. They are not going to be kicking out all the Muslims from Iberia, I think, in this universe. But we'll see. There's still plenty of time to go. And yeah, the diplomacy map mode in general got a lot more things going on. Way more colors. Of course, Poland and Hungary, they like each other. The Great Yan is currently in the middle of their Yansplosion, and it is only going to get worse and worse, it looks like. This is looking actually extremely bad. So this is going to be a big mess, but you know what else is a big mess? Japan is a big mess. There's actually a lot of different things going on here because a lot of these different warlords are constructing all sorts of different things, and this is going to be one massive fight for these islands. Haven't checked much on the Philippines or Indonesia yet, but I'm sure something will come out of this soon enough. A nice rising power, I hope, I think. So it is now the EU4 start date. We're in 1444. Let's take a look at what the game looks like. It looks very different from a normal EU4 game, obviously. The Yan explosion is in a complete, I mean, it just happened. Although there's exclaves everywhere. This is the part that reminds me a little bit of CK3 with these exclaves. Yeah, these exclaves are probably going to need to change with time. They're going to need to, this is crazy, they're holding on to this stuff. That will eventually change, I'm not sure when, but that will definitely not last for very long, I think, in the EU5 life cycle. Yep, France is just pushing around Aragon, looks like right now, which, I mean, that's, oh, France is even pushing around England, apparently. They grabbed all 4 of these provinces away. How did you let that happen, England? That's embarrassing. Who is Tomos? Are you responsible for this? What happened to the backgrounds? Why are the backgrounds just this basic? Oh, okay. There we go. I believe the backgrounds change with time, right? Naples is looking nice and big, though. The Ottomans, to be fair, at least they got the tip of the Anatolia Peninsula. Kind of. Not all of it, but, you know, kind of. Nothing much from the early evolutions, the early starts from the Russians, but it's still a little bit early for that. Muscovy is here. Is Poland working more with Lithuania or Hungary? I mean, they don't like their smaller neighbors. There's just so many units in here. Obviously in the Holy Roman Empire, like, everyone has their own little units, but it is a mess. Shield your eyes. Now just realizing how ugly everything is. It's just so splintered up, which I know it's 15th century. We only can hope it's going to get prettier. And in terms of score, actually number 1 in 1444 is France, the big blue blob. Then it is this shogunate, Koto shogunate. Then the Kingdom of Chen, which is it broke away from the Yan dynasty over there. Then it is the Kingdom of Ming, which is still very splintered. Egypt still in 5th place. Great Yan still in 6th, even though they look like a complete mess. Loving some of this artwork. It's really cool. The loading screens, I'm having a fun time looking at all this stuff. So we will definitely not be getting a big, beautiful Portuguese-speaking Brazil. We might get a Brazil, but they'll probably be speaking Spanish. So instead of expanding into Aragon in this universe, the Crown of Castile just decided to finally eliminate Portugal. And again, they're just leaving Granada alone. I guess they don't mind that. Kingdom of France has finally been formed, and it's looking bigger and blobbier, and they're getting rid of some of their subjects, so that's kind of cool. Oh yeah, I should check religion. Yeah, so faith really is exclusively in Granada. Islam is literally just in the south of Iberia. Sunnism, is that a word? We're going to be very soon coming up upon Martin Luther and the schism, Protestantism. That's going to be rising up. Hungary's looking pretty big. Is there a war with Serbia happening? Did Serbia enter the Italian peninsula? Why does Serbia have land in Italy? What the hell? Also, Denmark is having a bad time with nobles, but that will probably go away. Everyone has a bad time with nobles every once in a while. Golden Horde's still looking better than ever. They're literally not moving. Meanwhile, it's actually the Mamluks, the Egyptians. The Hordic Egyptians that have taken Constantinople, and they have chosen to name it, well, a very different name. That's not even Istanbul. That is, I don't even know how to pronounce that in Egyptian. In Arabic, I'm not sure. I'm guessing that's the court language is Arabic, right? I don't know what the hell the Mamluks might be speaking. Well, the common language is for sure Arabic, so that, and actually Arabic has been brought over already. There's actually a lot of places speaking Arabic, obviously in Iberia, but parts of Sardinia, parts of northern Italy, man, they wasted no time there. So what is the ethnic breakdown? Did they just kill all the Greeks, or what did you do with the Greeks? What have you guys done to get rid of them so fast? Anyways, that is impressive. Yeah. So the Mamluks are basically going to be the Ottomans in this universe. It's going to be an Egyptian empire, it appears. Ooh, Novgorod now stretching beyond Perm here in a little bit. And we have the grand theocracy of Tibet. As China has fallen, Tibet has risen. The Tibetan highlands will be conquered by the Dalai Lama. Is the Dalai Lama a thing? I need to look into that. Wow, China looks disgusting as hell. Is there the DruuuWu nation? There's probably some really cute nations in there. There's a nation called Wu, and there used to be a nation called Yu. And there used to be a nation, if you could combine them, calling them Uwu. I don't think an Uwu was an actual nation, but I wanted it to be, that's for sure. Look at the mini little Zimbabwe that's popping up. That's cool. And so we begin. The first European colonization has entered the New World. It is unsurprisingly Castile over this way because, well, Portugal basically doesn't exist. To be fair, they actually do exist. They just exist. They literally turned Portugal into a city-state. That's crazy. Spain looked over at France having Monaco, and they're like, I want one of those too. What's interesting is that these European powers just decided to completely skip over the Caribbean. They didn't land anywhere right here. The King of Castile said, nah, I want that Central American territory. What is that even for? This is food in province? So these are different foods, I guess, if they're making sure they have enough food in each province? I mean, obviously Europe is doing all right with that. This is actually a really interesting map mode. What the heck? Here's also food productivity. Obviously, in the colder areas, it's going to be hard to produce food. Obviously, also in the deserts, it's going to be impossible to produce food. So lots of food coming out of Europe, India, and China. And then, well, this part, maybe this is why Spain wanted Central America before they wanted the Caribbean. Is that what you were thinking here? 59-year-old Pedro III? Man, that Castilian army looking pretty serious. Over 100,000? Oh, well, obviously France has him beat because he is going super big blue blob mode. Yeah, England does not look quite as strong. This is actually a terrifying France now that I think about it. They are really big without any big rivals. I mean, I guess I got to worry about Castile, but that's about it. I really love seeing Zimbabwe here. I hope they're able to stay alive and in control. They actually are colonizing a little bit, but I hope they stay alive when Europeans eventually get to Africa. I feel like we're starting to see that Sultanate of Morocco grow larger and larger as they're dipping pretty far into Africa. Also, they have parts of Europe under their control, pretty like very northern Italian territory. That's going to provide some very nice economic development. Now, they do not have an army to be able to stop the Castilians. They do not also have a navy either to be able to stop the Castilians. But at least economically, I mean, they're all right. The numbers go up. Numbers are going burr. As long as I'm only seeing green lines, I'll invest all my money into these stocks. What could go wrong? Scotland has entered into Northern Ireland. Ireland is not looking good. Pale. You don't got to call them out like that. Well, I know that they're pale. I'm pale. And the next European nation to make it to the New World is the Pope. Yes, the Pope is here. It's Castile and then the Pope. I guess he wants to spread religion. Maybe the Pope just took it upon himself since Portugal essentially doesn't exist. He's like, you know what? I'll do it myself. I'll make a Brazil. The Pope, mind you, only has 30 boats, yet he's still out here doing this. Economically, he watches the economy. He might be in for a recession. So yes, we are going to see some Pope colonies in this world. Unsurprisingly, we are also going to see the colony of Nova Scotia brought to us by England. So they are going to get to this island. They're the first ones to make it to, well, at least modern-day Canada. There is a Greenland nation, but that's about it. Is Sweden at war with somebody? It looks like they're being attacked right now. Yeah, Denmark is looking to get their revenge. I didn't even realize this war screen was here. This is a really cool war screen breakdown. Loving the casualty count. The Swedes have lost almost 10,000 men. Oh, is the Reformation happening? Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, the Reformation is occurring, and that is obviously being led by Martin Luther here. He's like, yeah, that whole Pope guy, he's got colonies in South America. That's not cool. We're going to form our own thing. That's basically what he said. Something Martin Luther King said that. Martin Luther. So right now, there's only about 25 million Lutherans, but it is growing. I mean, they have a long way to go to catch Catholicism, and actually, they might not ever catch Catholicism, to be quite honest with you. But, hey, 25 million is sizable, and every single country seems to be pretty equally split up right now. Obviously, Orthodox or, well, Sunni is not involved in this at all. This is literally just another schism in the Catholic world, which that Catholic world is being spread slowly and slowly to the Americas, so that's going to be interesting to see what happens here. The Lutherans have not made it over to Nova Scotia just yet, or obviously Central America. Dang, the Pope is not stopping. The Pope is just continuing to get more and more random land. He's in modern-day Venezuela, Colombia, and I think he's in Suriname. Oh, damn, he's in Brazil, too, and the city-state that is Portugal has made it to Brazil. Let's go. Even though you're not a real country and you're just basically the size of Monaco, that doesn't mean you can't start up a giant Brazilian colony. Maybe just merge it with the Pope's colonies. Again, yes, Portugal is still existing, and they exist really because Spain allows them. I keep calling them Spain. It's technically Castile. They only exist because Castile allows them to exist. Oh, Spain also has a piece of northern Italy lands, so yeah, the Italian peninsula is going to continue to be heavily splintered for a while now. Everyone's got a piece of the heart of Europe. Bulgaria, those are some nice coastlines you got there. Golden Horde, once again, they're continuing to fight nobles. Meanwhile, Novgorod, watch Novgorod, will we see a Russia? And the tribe of the Manchun, or the Manchu, have risen out. Now, this is, typically, it's these people that were supposed to form Qing China, but they are not going to do that, I don't think. France has elected to literally just basically kill Aragon. Aragon does exist, but just barely. Please, France, just clean up these borders. We can't have another Holy Roman Empire inside your territory, too. It's disgusting. Think of the children. It's year 1572, and yeah, no, that whole Reconquista, it's not being completed. Now, I'm not sure if Castile just doesn't want the benefits of that. Maybe EU5 doesn't currently give great benefits to complete. You should get like crazy like points, stability, legitimacy if you actually do kick out the Muslims from Iberia, just like as a historical thing. That Hungary is looking pretty big. They're definitely outshining the Austrians, I feel. Wallachia has got a similar thing going on here with Bulgaria, kind of having a long tail over this way. Did Sweden lose some land? Some looks a little bit different up this way. Poor Poland, they are looking not as big as I feel like they should be right now. Y'all are still fighting this civil war? Will we see more Mamlukian Australia? That was a weird quirk that loved to happen. That always happened in EU4, but we'll see about EU5. I mean, maybe they're too busy about trying to control Constantinople. They don't care about Australia in this universe. And the French have made it down to Africa. They're getting closer and closer to South Africa. They have made the counter of Mambava. Meanwhile, in the Caribbean, finally Castile has decided, all right, I guess we do need a couple of these islands over here. So they're getting the island of Hispaniola. They got the northern coast of Venezuela. It looks like the French might also be in Venezuela too. French finally catching up on the colonial game. It's about time. The Papal States. Is that off? I think this font is supposed to be over here. But yeah, the Pope is still very much in South America, spreading Catholicism, I'm assuming. Oh, did that 100 Years' War end? Or sorry, I mean the 30 Years' War, the Martin Luther and stuff. There it is, the early days of the 13 colonies. Delaware is here, being formed by England. Also, England has a perfect little colony of Nova Scotia. They decided not even to leave this island. They just like this little place. I mean, this looks like the closest territory you could do in North America that matches the British Isles. It's very similar sort of shape thing, but it's also a lot colder. The Kingdom of Bohemia, believe it or not, has made it to Greenland, so will they make the jump over to Nunavut or any other provinces in Canada? By the way, yeah, that 30 Years' War is over, and the only state that has become Lutheran officially is Sweden. That is it. That's kind of crazy. Oh, actually, there might be a smaller place in the Holy Roman Empire. Now, the populations, there's still heavy populations. Like France maybe could switch over to Lutheranism. Of course, England's got to do their own thing, though, with Anglicanism. Wasn't expecting Sweden and France to be turning like that. Golden Horde, you got to figure it out. Either just bust apart, break apart, or don't. Like, you can't keep going fighting your rebels. Specifically, your rebellious noble rebels. Naples is all up in Greece, all up in Albania, all up in Venice. The Duchy of Meissen is pretty much the other big Lutheran nation, which is, it's not even that big, but we could see more of these nations begin to fall as we go into the future. There we go, Russia. They are going for it. Now, I don't think they're going to be able to take out the Golden Horde, but this Novgorod will probably form some sort of Russia eventually. France making another little colony in Africa. Zimbabwe's getting bigger and bigger. They got to start building up here. They only have 2 ships, less than 10,000 soldiers. This is not looking good. Their economy has been doing good. I mean, it's rising over time. I mean, that's something. I just now realize it is Majapahit has control over a lot of the Philippines, at least the southern Philippines. They control a lot of Indonesia, all the way to East Timor even. Meanwhile, the northern part of the Philippines is controlled by Japan, which this warlord period is just never going to end in Japan, is it? This is just going to be the saddest Japan ever. It might just be the saddest Asia ever. Like, look at how disgusting. This is worse than the Holy Roman Empire. Why are they colonizing all over the place? Why do some of these nations, like this nation has the northern islands? What are the Kurila Islands something? Russia and Japan fought over that. Every time I look at the British Isles, it just gets worse and worse. Scotland re-changed their name to Alba, and England's in the middle of a civil war. Meanwhile, the French have a foothold here. Yeah, the French are unstoppable. The big blue blob's unstoppable in this universe. Are they encroaching into Belgium too? Jeez, who is going to stop the Kingdom of France? Let's go Bohemia. Bohemia getting all sorts of things here in Greenland, in Canada. Also, is this a Bohemian colony too? For now it is. They have some, oh yeah, they're integrating their colonies. So wow, Bohemia doing a lot. That's a new colonizer that we're not used to seeing in EU4. Like Bohemia never gets here. Meanwhile, we have the Colony of America, which has been formed. England is at least going to do something, even if they die back in Europe. They will be credited for making the Colony of America, like in that flag. Lots of, well, I can see the English influence. This is Castile. I believe these nobles, well, this is in the middle of a fight here. This is also Castile. It's just they happen to be fighting nobles. There's too many noble rebellions, bro. Who's going to take out the Aztecs? The Aztecs are still around, and it's actually the 17th century. I mean, mind you, they're kind of splintered up, but yeah. Oh, and then Central America is actually referred to as New Spain. Will they make the Panama Canal? Probably not. It's still probably way too early for that. But they have all of the Caribbean. They do have a majority of Colombia and maybe even Venezuela. Oh, did you kick out the Pope? Who kicked out the Pope? Oh, this is a nation from Naples. Naples has even made it down here. So the southern nation in the Italian peninsula, these are Italians that are colonizing South America. Okay, the Pope is still here. The 63-year-old man, he can't really defend this stuff, but I like that he's still trying to colonize. The Scots are here in Brazil. Man, this is getting ugly. What is this monstrosity? More and more of Naples. Well, I'm glad the Nepalese are here. Is that what you call Nipple? The French are growing more inland in Africa, trying to basically probably trying to sail through the Congo. It's that Congo River. And they already got a majority of Madagascar. Zimbabwe formed this nation, Razvi. Naples has also landed in England. That's crazy. It looks like they almost have London. They have these little territories over this way. I'm liking this kingdom of Dai Viet, which stretches almost to the Indian Ocean, which is very impressive. They just have to fight through a little bit more modern-day Myanmar territory, Burma territory, but they will need to be concerned about the de facto Thailand that's been rising up. They have a lot of this peninsula, and they actually control a pretty big chunk of this island, too. They got some Indonesian territory. Oh, we have more religious fighting? The War of Religions. Lutheranism versus Catholicism. It is a very one-sided battle. I don't know what the Lutherans are thinking right now. Look at who's in the Catholic League. That is so one-sided. You don't... I mean, I guess a lot of the HRE has been kind of switching over to Lutheranism. But when you look at the actual... Okay, so yeah, Russia was just not down for that. Sorry, France was just not down for that. I thought France would maybe convert. Lutherans are literally going to get... They're going to get destroyed in a horrible, horrible way. I was going to use a different word there, but I'm not going to do it. Never mind. This means that Catholicism is probably going to take over the entirety of the New World. Well, except for in the colony of America. I love how England is kind of doing Portuguese strategies back in the colonial days. They're putting all their eggs in one basket. They don't care if they're small back at home. They're going to put everything into... This is basically their Brazil. Oh, this is Martin Luther right there, putting the sign up and everything. I almost didn't even see that. England has fortunately halted their civil war just a tiny bit here. They still have so many other problems, though. I mean, like France and the Venetians are this way, too. That's kind of an issue. Did Portugal finally get destroyed? No. Castile definitely needed their little Portuguese colony, the city of Lisboa. They should just, honestly, it's not even Portugal. Oh, I think Castile and France have been getting into some fighting a little bit here. These are going to be the two big rivals. Hungary has a part of Baltic territory. Poland is looking slightly chunkier. Are they allied to the Lithuanians, though? That's the question. Principality of Kiev. Oh, finally the Golden Horde collapsed, right? I think the Golden Horde finally... I was going to say, it is literally the 18th century. The Golden Horde should not be here anymore. Novgorod looks like their growth has slowed quite a bit there. Oh, Omsk. It's Omsk. They have a really weird flag and country ball. I one day got to make that one. The Mamluks continue to be the Turks of this universe. Well, I guess they're not the Turks, they're the Egyptians, but they're acting like the Ottomans, I guess, kind of, but like a lot weaker. Meanwhile, sub-Saharan Africa is a complete mess. Naples is getting a ton of the Ivory Coast, though. And France looks like they're going to try to connect their... Oh, they might. They need to fight a little bit more through what was formerly Zimbabwe. Who was it again? Ferrara. The small nation of Ferrara is also in Africa. How would Ferrara even... Where is Ferrara? Okay, they are here. That is Ferrara. How would this little place do that? I'm enjoying the new colonizers, don't get me wrong. I don't want to start complaining, but how? We're going to look back on this day one day. Like I said, it's going to be funny. America! Now, they are still they still have an English overlord, but man, they're growing more and more towards modern-day Canada. They're looking good. They should probably get a little bit more boats up, but I'm sure they feel slightly threatened by the Castilian colonies. I like how this looks like the way, like this was like French Louisiana. This used to be the Spanish did have Louisiana for a little bit there. This looks like the way it kind of worked. I'm not sure if that was what they're going for. Oh, we also have a Castilian Alaska. I just cannot ever imagine Spanish being spoken in Alaska. That just seems like the most cursed thing ever. What about Bohemia? How are the Bohemians doing? They're doing good in Quebec. Now they're going to be speaking German, I guess, here. A German-speaking Quebec that really is a thorn in the side of the Spanish Canadians. I think ultimately they're going to take over all of this. The Aztecs are still this way. Spain's got that, man. Okay, we have Peru. We also mostly have a Spanish-speaking Brazil, but then it's really splintered up. Paraguay. Oh, did the Lutherans actually make it this way? Well, kind of they did, but ultimately it's still really, really Catholic. Here they are in South Africa, and the Pope is looking like this is going to be the new Pope prison colony. The Pope needs a giant prison colony. It is mostly the Pope, but, and then they're creating this green nation for whatever reason. Are they rebelling or something? Anyways, this is all Pope lands. The Papal States wants the land down under, which sounds like a metaphor for hell. Why would they want the land down under? I never even put that two and two together. Is that why I mean, Australia is basically hell. It's really hot. Dang, Hungary's just getting bigger and bigger. The map continues to look uglier and uglier. So key date here, I wanted to stop it in 1776, America's birthday. America in this universe is definitely not independent, though, but their resistance, active spy networks. Oh, that's cool. They're trying to figure out a way to get their freedom, I think. They only have, well, 43% unity with England, or loyalty is the word. But whoa, that's an interesting last name. Who the hell's in charge over here? Where's George Washington at? These look more like Native Americans that are in charge of Colony of America. Yeah, these are some really interesting names. Okay. Hey, England's growing more and more. They got a nice English army right here and a pretty good amount of boats. Wow. Let's go Germany. Wow, you have a crazy outfit on. I was not expecting all of that. And they actually have even more loyalty to Bohemia. It's less likely that they go independent. Oh, did Nova Scotia go independent? So it does appear that the English lost at least one colony. It's Nova Scotia. So this was the first English freedom. Oh, what the heck? They have a part of, what is this, Toronto they have? So I think that's the first colony to get their independence, quite possibly. Everything else is still under Castile. Or wait, no. These guys are now independent as well. The Republic of Chinoko. How are I supposed to say these? It is the time of colonial revolutions. It's the colonial revolution time. So we shouldn't be surprised to see some more places get their independence soon enough. I believe that's about it for now. Naples, Italian is all down this way. It is mostly Italian being spoke from modern-day Argentina to Chile to the coastline of Brazil. Gallo-Italian? Gallo-Italian. Who brought this over? Is that the Pope? No, the Pope speaks, oh, that's like Northern Italian. I see. That's being brought over by, like, who is over here? Ferrara? There's some English being spoken in modern-day Brazil. They're still speaking the native language of Peru in Peru. We got some Mayan. We got some Aztec even. It's actually called Nahuatl. Oh, my bad. They're speaking Czech. They're speaking Czechoslovakian, not German. Whoops. I wasn't sure. Hell yeah, we got Czech Quebec. That just flows off the tongue. And we even have some Scandinavian languages that have been brought over by the Swedes or the Norwegians. Oh, because the Czechs actually expanded all the way. They got little dots all the way through the Baltics. Gaelic is still existing in the 18th century. Arabic, Persian. Besides that, those are the big language changes. Oh, Mongolian is a lot more because the hordes just were able to survive for way longer here. Yeah, China's extremely splintered, just like, I guess no one was able to unify and unite the entire languages. We got Thai, we got Cambodian being spoken, Khmer in the Philippines, Malay, and okay, well, we still have some time to go, so I'm going to double check on this a little bit later, but Papa, so this is Italian, at least this side. This is supposed to be an entire Australian papal state. But maybe they still need more time to get rid of those other languages, those unwanted languages. It's funny how, like, the AI is definitely not doing this. They're definitely not attacking the Aztecs right now. They're leaving them alone, which is not bad. I'm not complaining. So this is basically the end date. I think I'm a little bit beyond the end date. The end date is like 1835 or something. We might be seeing Napoleon finally pop up. He's like 30 years too late, but that's okay. Or Napoleon's dead. I'm not sure. One or the other. Naples has more and more of Greece, but they did lose some territory in England. And the Scots have rechanged. They're no longer Alba. They're just back to being the Scots, and they're still calling these poor Irish people pale. The Commonwealth of England looks slightly better, but I don't know. Tunisia's all riddled in Europe. Morocco's riddled in Europe. The Mamluks riddled in Europe. The Hungarians all over the place. There is no Russia, but it looks like they were getting closer. Whoa, what the heck is this? Some sort of big old tribe began to form over this way. Oh, the Qing Empire did rise up. That is kind of cool, and it came from that tribe of Manchu. So there is a Qing Empire, but man, I'm going to tell you right now, this is not a very strong Qing Empire. Like, how many people do they really have? They lost a significant amount. Yeah, this is nowhere near what they actually had. That's because no one lives over here. No one lives in Manchuria, and no one definitely lives in outer Manchuria and Mongolia. They have Lake Baikal. But all the Chinese population, they're still chilling over here. Heavily splintered. Literally nothing from Japan has occurred. No unifications. I do like that Korea controls the northern island of Japan. That's kind of cool, though. How does the Qing Empire have less men, less population than Korea? That just sounds crazy. I know how, because that's just the function of how this stuff worked out, but you don't see that very often. I love that Tibet still oh, well, it is a Tibet revolution. The Dalai Lama has risen up. Man, the Tibetans, they were looking pretty good for a second there. They got to reunify. No ports, and there's no British Raj, clearly. Not even close. No one wanted to come over here and start the British Raj. There was so much good curry they're missing out on. The French are one of the big winners in Africa, I suppose, but it's still pretty splintered. It's harder and harder to infiltrate the Amazon, so at this point in the end game, they're not deep inside I mean, even to this day, human beings aren't really deep inside of the Amazon just yet. Naples is still all over the place. So many Italian speakers in South America. No, Czechia! Who's beating your butt? Oh, they're fighting several wars right now. This is a mess. Yeah, I felt like we would see more colonies go independent, but that was kind of not the case. Let's go, Pope. Take all this stuff over. So the government types by the end of the game, everyone's mostly still a monarchy. However, there are a couple of republics. The French revolutionaries, in fact, are a republic, so they might be able to switch over. They're trying to cut off some French monarchs' heads. The English is a republic. This Novgorod was a republic, surprisingly. Some of these northern Italian states, too. We still have some steppe hordes in the Middle East, and then straight-up tribal governments, monarch and republic all over the place in East Asia. Lots of republics, though, in the New World. Wow, this is looking pretty nice. Actually, republics all over. All the colonies formed republics for the most part, except for, did Naples spread monarchism to the New World? It seems to be the case. And then it still exists, obviously, in Aztec lands. I don't think we're going to see too many shared dynasties, but here is the... Oh, I guess we kind of are. Oh, yeah, this is going back and forth. Okay, well, there's shared dynasties all in the Balkans and southern Italy. Is that about it in terms of the dynasties? It's kind of hard to tell with this, but that's awesome that we have an option just to stare at the dynasties and the family trees and things like that. And that stuff's obviously being spread to the overseas colonies. What the heck? The court language of France, the official government of France, is actually German. And the court language is not even Castilian in Castile, or Spanish, I should say. It's German in Scotland too. Okay, this is, again, court language. This is not what the actual population is speaking. But the rulers are speaking this, which is pretty crazy. Arabic stretches really deep into the middle of Asia, and Mongolian is still very, very popular in different pockets. A lot of this could be in relation to those dynastic breakdowns, which I talked about earlier. There's some German and Australian, but a lot of it is from the Pope's language, Gallo-Italic. What? How is this matter? I thought the French got here. Oh, we know because the French themselves are speaking German. My bad. So in Castile or Iberia, they're speaking Occitan, but in the rest of their colonies, they're actually speaking Spanish. The big development is still coming out of north. So all the green stuff is really highly valuable provinces, very developed provinces. Northern Italy, of course, a lot of Germany. This small pocket in Africa, which is very, very impressive. Lots all over India. America still has a long way to go. India looks, if someone could unite all of India, they might be even more developed than China, but I'm not 100%. Here we go, all the population breakdown. I feel like, India and China obviously are still doing pretty good. There's 44 million people just in this population, just in this nation alone. They had small declines, but not too bad. A lot of people living in France right now. That is the big population. This is actually a really big war that's happening between these two, a big civil war. The majority of people in the New World are actually going straight to Central America, which is not surprising because that's the first colony that formed. So the majority of the Spanish people, Spanish speakers, I guess I should say, went here. They went to like Bolivia. They didn't really go to North America. North America is still really open for colonization, or at least immigration too. Most people are pretty satisfied. This is population satisfaction. Is this even going to make much of a difference? We have more laborers. These are the different pop breakdowns. Because obviously certain... Oh yeah, slaves. Did we do slaves in this world? There doesn't seem to be that many slaves. That's good. Can you even call this French culture if they're speaking majority German? I mean, this is Castilian. This is English. Culture doesn't change a whole lot. Turkish never left the Anatolia Peninsula. In fact, Lower Egyptian culture really expanded a lot when all things considered. Farsi, of course, in Iran. Korean culture has infiltrated northern Japan. That's crazy. What culture is this? Well, whatever. They've taken over a lot of Australia. Oh, did you guys make to... Oh, Castilian made it to New Zealand. And as I thought, Catholicism is dominating this universe from North America to South America to all over... Wait, did you guys change to Orthodox or is this Anglican? No, it's just a similar color. My bad. Lutheranism... the Swedes are still holding up Lutheranism, but it's kind of weird. They're just like the weird offshoot that nobody else follows. Although they did make it to like French Guiana with Lutheranism. Yeah, these are the majority of religions here. Oh, Tibet was able to spread a little bit of Tibetan Buddhism. Most of Southeast Asia, are they... Okay, I was like, did they form... Are they Hindu? We've got Eastern Buddhism in northern Vietnam, in the Philippines, in this part of Indonesia. Indonesia, actually, a majority of Indonesia is Hindu. So Hindu is the one that actually spread it across here. Oh, we might be seeing a Bangladesh soon because Sunni is growing in the east. Can the people read good? Apparently in Mexico, they can really read good. They're reading hella good. In fact, in Central America too, they're not reading so good in some of the Naples colonized territories. Who needs to read when, I mean, it would be nice to be able to put those Italian recipes on, in a book and stuff. That would be cool, but you just copy what your mama doing, right? Pretty easy. Probably thinking, oh, I'm just trying to cook. Why are you making me read and shit? Literacy is actually even better in China and Korea. These are crazy high literacy rates. I mean, according to the map, the great powers of this world is France, is Naples, is Hungary. And then there's like a couple of different ages. Korea's a great power. A couple of the different warlords, I guess you could say, in China, and then Indonesia, or Majapahit Empire. Luckily, diseases have been under control in the 19th century. Nothing too bad. No more Black Deaths or returns of the Black Death. I didn't even discover this map before. The natural harbor suitability. So this is showing the best places to make harbors. Obviously, you're looking at some big ones here. Manhattan, New York, Boston, Massachusetts. What is this? DC, next to Delaware. Virginia. I mean, these are the natural places. Louisiana is not a beautiful harbor. I felt like New Orleans, no. Everything along the Great Lakes, those are great harbor positions. A lot in California, Los Angeles, San Francisco. Well, yeah, the Bay Area. This is a really cool map. I didn't even realize this. There's not that many harbors in South America. Is that true? Is that why South America was never able to thrive? Not natural harbors? I feel like India's got to definitely have a few, and certainly Europe has got to have a lot. Natural harbor suitability. This is a cool map, but also, like, can't you just... It's probably one of those things that you can just memorize where the natural harbors are. Oh, this is specifically, like, people are uprising all around the world. What is this for, though? This is just for more human rights, basically. So, yeah, this is a whole event that's taking place. Age of Revolutions. Love that piracy is literally just being founded in the Caribbean still, which is really late to still be finding piracy in the Caribbean. Oh, are these all the pirates? No, I don't think so. But there's also a lot of piracy here in between Africa and Madagascar. There's significantly less where I thought they would be in the Strait of Malacca. This would be a great place for piracy, I would think. With that beautiful 3D map. I was wondering if we were entering another ice age, but no, it doesn't look like ice is... Well, it's expanding right now only because it is winter time. It's December, so... But I was like, okay, yeah. According to score, Castile wins, at least by the end game. Unless... Well, I bet you they only win because France is in a civil war right now. Then Majapahit is in third. Then it is the Qin Empire in China. But hold on, we're going to load up another save. But yeah, if you're curious, this is the top, like, 16. Come on, baby, I know you can load this one. We're going to the 22nd century. What the hell is this quote? If there are Spaniards in heaven, I want to go to hell. Who said that? Oh, it's 1512. I mean, I guess I get that, considering who this was saying. This. All right, looks like I'm not going to be able to load up this save. It's been like 10 minutes. Okay, to be fair, the game actually just updated, so maybe that was it, and it was trying to warn me that it was going to be hard to load, but again, I'm playing on a pre-release build. It looks like we did finally have someone go independent, the Castilian colony, after like 150 more years. Cool little flag up here that they got, too. 35 million people here, and 99% of them are Castilian, of course. Dang, our America got messed up. Or, wait a second, England just took some of this stuff back? It's like if America lost the War of 1812 really badly, I think. All of our people are English, although, do we still have weird names? We kind of do still have strange names. Let's go Czechia. Let's go Quebec, Czechia. Somehow they're still here, and they're still very loyal, I think, to the Bohemians. Yeah, they still are loyal. That's crazy. I feel like this is just the Haiti of this universe. Nova Scotia, like randomly they got their independence like really early. I'm thinking they're a republic. There's nothing. They're just chilling. They're happy to have their little island. Was Scotland always this way? It feels like some of the Europeans got their stuff back. These colonies have grown more and more. This Sultanate looks really powerful. So even though I did have a save that I was trying to load up that was going to be another like 150 years into the future, I can tell you right now, not much changed. It does feel like the game basically just stopped progressing at a certain point. I mean, basically after the year 1900, I started noticing that like, oh, nothing was happening. Because I actually wanted to do this video and go 3,000 years into the future, because that would be a banger video, right? The game's brand new, it's EU5, let's show it off, let's go like 3,000 years into the future, and then like things just literally stopped happening. Which again, you know, I know that like the top priority list for Paradox is not to have an interesting observer game. It's not for me to make interesting AI videos like this. It's to have you have fun when you're actually playing the game. And so the way the world's like completely broken up like this and really, really disgusting looking, it makes sense because generally speaking, people should really only be playing EU5, not observing it like this. So when you have the world break up, you're giving the player, I guess, a lot of opportunity to, hey, Japan started to come together, I will say that, but it gives the player a lot of opportunity to eat things up and, you know, maybe give them a nice, easy first run, too. Maybe that's a part of an aspect of it. I don't know, but you probably do want people to have an easier time the very first time they're loading into the game rather than a hard time. You don't want someone to start mothballing and an empire like Mongolia just takes over everything and then you're pretty much just screwed. Your campaign is done. There's still a religion called ceremonial here in, like, Iowa. That's kind of cool. And some of these more native languages do still exist. Castile comes out on top still, even over the Kingdom of France. Oh, France did not go into a republic. Majapahit. So this really didn't change, I think, at all. Maybe these guys actually leapfrogged Chen Empire in the last like 200 years. Yeah, so the revolutionaries in France obviously did not win, but that's crazy that Castile came out on top still. This is 2026. I just now realized this is our year. That's cool. And we pushed it to the modern day, which, man, thank goodness the world doesn't look like this. If the map looked like this in the modern day, I would look at a map every day and just literally want to barf. It's so gross. Yeah, important to keep in mind, obviously, this is day one release right here. So the AI is going to get better, but we got to experiment with what it looks like. And like I said at the very beginning, I think this is going to be a fascinating video to one day look upon and see where the AI goes from here. I feel kind of embarrassed that the nations I decided to focus on in making a country ball just for EU5, they didn't do anything. Literally nothing. Like Byzantium died, Venice, they didn't do anything. The Ottomans didn't do anything. Literally all three. Bro, this is literally negative aura points for me. Though that new start date really changes everything. I mean, I'm sure the AIs, all three of these AIs, Byzantium, Venice, and the Ottomans, will get better as EU5 develops more and more. But that start date really does change everything. The big blue blob is still definitely going to be a character in the community, just like it was in EU4. I'm not sure if the Ottomans are going to be quite as big of a character. We'll see, especially because if they just don't show up in a significant number of games, that would be a factor. I can see Byzantium being a bigger one because Byzantium has a bit more extra years, a little bit slightly bigger. Maybe less Venice, though. But wow, maybe these EU5 country balls should have just been my EU4 country balls. I should have just promoted EU4 with these ones. But anyways, if you want these, head over to makeship.com because they will be gone very soon after watching this video. And a big thanks to Paradox here for allowing me to get early access and to show you guys exactly my thoughts and how I feel about EU5. Last little shout out again, if you want to come to China with me, there is a link down below. I'm very excited. I really wanted to visit China. I've already been to Europe. I didn't want to do a trip to Europe. I've already been to a lot of other places, but in terms of history, this is a place that I still haven't been able to discover too much. So if you'd like to come with me and a bunch of other people that like to watch my videos, check that link down below to traveltrip.com. There's limited slots only available left.